Riverdale sometimes deals with disturbing and problematic topics. We've provided a list of content warnings in the episode description. Hello and welcome to Dead Ends. I'm Emily.
I'm Brenton.
And we have 2 new episodes of Riverdale for you. And the last 2 episodes of Riverdale for you for a little bit.
That's right.
And an important note before we get into anything else and before we forget, we will be starting Sabrina next week. Because the Sabrina episodes are long and there's usually like a lot to dig into folklore wise. Oh my God, there's something in my eye. Then we will only be doing 1 episode at a time.
Yes.
We'll do 1 episode a week for Sabrina. If we are doing that and we feel like, oh no, we can actually add to this load, we will adjust and we'll inform you accordingly. But last time we did Sabrina, we said, oh my God, this is a full-time job.
Yeah, it's been busy and it's a lot to fit in. So ideally, this would be the best way for us to go forward.
Yes.
So we think that there's plenty to talk about per episode. So we think it should still make for good content.
We think so. And if it's not, then we'll figure it out.
That's right.
We'll all adjust together. But for your next week's assignment, just watch the first episode of part 3 of Sabrina.
Yes, I can get you the name for that, just so we're all on the same page.
Can you? Can you get us the name?
I really hope so. Dun 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 dun.
I believe in you. I believe in the power of your typing fingers and the speed of our Wi-Fi.
It'll be... It's not going to tell me the full one there. That's fun. Doing the little Google thing where it'll show you the episodes, like where it's like embedded in there, where you don't have to click through into something. It won't tell me the full title of the episode. So
well, no,
I'm like,
the
that's
mystery.
fun. Yeah, on the drop down. Okay, now that I'm on Wikipedia. All right, chapter 21, The Hellbound Heart.
There we go.
Yep.
And for those of you that are curious, today Brenton's computer background is just like a really peaceful island. So I will not delve into a I almost said devolve.
Yeah.
I guess that would
Devolve
work though, right?
too,
Yeah. That's what I was like,
To
wait.
a fit of laughter.
Yeah, exactly. I won't have a fit. I won't lose
No
it.
fits.
Well, I might have a fit.
Well, yeah, there's a few things that we'll have to discuss about.
Yeah.
In terms of, well, of course, yeah, that's what this episode is, Brenton.
We're going to discuss things.
We're going to have some things that we don't like. We'll have some roses and some thorns.
Roses and thorns.
And Thornhill is not the only thorn.
Thornhill's not even a thorn.
No.
Honestly, Cheryl should have had her own show. If they were going to do a spin-off, they should have done Cheryl.
She has completely different rules for everything that's happening in her storyline.
And I would have watched the shit out of a Cheryl show.
Oh, it would have been great. I mean, of course, then you would lose out on... It would be that thing of like, damn, they took out one of their best characters out of the show in Riverdale, but she hasn't really gotten a whole lot to do in this show anyway.
Yeah.
So...
And she's amazing.
Yeah. Well, should we just jump right into our first episode then?
Let's do it.
Chapter 78, The Preppy Murders. The title of the episode is a reference to The Preppy Murder, a 1988 television film directed by John Hertzfeld and was based on the murder committed by Robert Chambers, a.k.a. the Preppy Killer. So like a fixed dramatization of true crime. But it had Billy Baldwin as Robert Chambers and Lara Flynn Boyle as Jennifer Levin. Lara Flynn Boyle, for you, can you guess which Twin Peaks character?
I don't know anyone's name. But
Donna Hayward.
Oh, okay.
That's right. So there's probably a lot of people that are like slightly older than us that are like, yeah, she was like huge because she was like had a really big heyday in the 90s and was also one of those like pop culture icons at the time. We're just slightly too young.
I was at dance class.
That's right. All right. So Archie beats his frustration into the boxing and into the punching bag and remembers the black hood Pops hold up. And then Mary wonders what's going on with him. He's like, I'm okay. And goes for a run. Because this is also at like 2 a.m. God knows. It's after prom. So it's like middle of the night. Betty gets a call in the middle of the night on her landline from Brett in jail. Okay, so this makes sense then because he's probably looking up in the yellow pages. He has information but wants a favor. He wants to get transferred to solitary and then he'll spill the details because he's scared for his life. Betty says she'll talk to Veronica. Archie runs to his dad's grave and cries about how unfair it is that Fred was taken and the auteur is insulting him. Bughead go to visit Brett, but he was found dead in his cell that morning. Archie finds Cheryl yelling at Miss Bell about her graduation gown because it's supposed to be crimson, not blue. Veronica greets him and tells him to just play along. He laments to the other friends about not graduating and acts like an ass. Veronica pulls him out and is just like, hey, we need to act normal so we don't have to tell Jughead or anything. And then Archie leaves in a huff. I'm like, Archie, this is your issue. Veronica's helping cover your ass. This is some of the stuff we'll get into. Mm-hmm. Tony apologizes to Cheryl, and Cheryl accepts and says she has a Blossom family business to attend to. And Tony says she'll continue to work on her Nana.
Who has been irrelevant until last week.
That's right. Bughead visit the morgue about Brett, and Dr. Curl Jr. says he has multiple stab wounds to his abdomen and his eyes were gouged out. This doesn't really come back up.
No, we don't know why that was.
It's just like,
why were his eyes gouged out?
I don't know, because Charles is sick, apparently.
Not Charles. Chick's the one who killed him in the jail.
Oh, Chick is the one who killed it. Did Chick gouge anybody else's eyes out? I don't think so. Because, you know...
but he did have creepy toddler vibes, so like...
Yeah, they set it up as if...
Chick would gouge somebody's eyes out.
Right, but they set it up as if this would be like, oh, and this is like something this serial killer's doing. But I don't think Chick has really done this before. Anyway, Archie lifts at the center when Hiram grabs him from behind and yells at him for kissing Betty. And then, which, I hate to say it.
Is he wrong, though?
No.
That's what I wrote down. A broken clock is right twice a day.
Yeah. Hiram eggs him on and says the apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
Again.
Also.
A broken clock is right twice a day.
And then Archie goes to attack and Tom holds Archie back. And then Archie's like, Hiram, you're out of my gym. And then,
yeah, Hiram attacked Archie while Tom Keller was at the gym.
Yeah. He just happened to see him there, you know. He wasn't premeditated. He's back to his mafioso ways, don't you know?
So that was premeditated.
Oh, but I mean, like, it's not like he was like, oh, and then I'm going to attack him.
Yeah, he's not really thinking things through.
No.
Hiram's being a loose cannon.
You're right. Mafioso ways. He's more premeditated. Hermosa is at Pop's annoying Veronica and seeming to know that she knows that she has trouble with her boyfriend, and Veronica denies it. Veronica goes to throw away garbage outside when a group of Malloys with guns come to attack her for Hiram killing their dad, and then Hermosa comes behind them and kills them all with a silenced pistol. Where was this energy the entire season? We should have had Hermosa doing all kinds of crazy shit like this.
Yeah, instead of the one scene where she danced with underage girls.
Yes.
I guess they might be 18, but still, you know.
Oh, Hermosa being this evil, capable person, where it's like, who's working with Veronica, and Veronica doesn't know if she wants to work with her because she does, like, you know.
She's like their dad.
That morally gray. Yeah, she's like morally gray in that sense. Like, she helped Veronica in this episode, but she literally just gunned down 3 people in front of her. Mm-hmm. Bughead meet with Charles, and they think the auteur is related to Brett's death. They wonder if David killed Brett, and the FBI is looking for him, but Betty isn't so sure. Cheryl calls a family board meeting on the family business, and she spoke with Governor Dooley to sell a parcel of their land back, and then they could use the rest of the money to reopen the maple factory. And the rest of the family's like, no, because you killed Uncle Bedford. Veronica asks
We have no proof.
Exactly. Well, no.
Just because you ate him doesn't mean
right.
She convinces them that they ate him.
Yeah, it's all because of her aunt. Veronica asks her mom if Hiram is back to his mafioso ways, and she comes clean that he is. She agrees to help Hermosa and Veronica stop him, and they want Hermione to sell her shares of Lodge Industries and his black book so they can take it over. Charles and Bughead find David hanged in a cabin with a sign around his neck that says God is watching. This doesn't come back up either. Betty isn't sure that David killed himself to tie up loose ends. Mary spoke to a defense lawyer about Fred's hit-and-run case, and they asked them if they would publicly forgive the Augustines for killing Fred. And this is the dad, I think it was like, I lost the dad's name, who's on trial.
Mr. Augustine.
Exactly. It's his father. And so they want Archie to publicly forgive him so he can get some leniency. And then Archie is resistant, but Mary asks him to consider writing a letter. Hiram is pissed, and Hermosa and Veronica want him to retire for their safety. And Hiram's like, I'm reverting back to my true nature, and it's helped me regain my stamina. And all I need is my fists and a gun.
And Veronica's like, that's not how science works.
Yes.
Which we appreciate because someone needed to be saying that at this time.
Veronica has some really good lines in both these episodes. Jughead got his acceptance for University of Iowa and the family celebrates. Cheryl visits her mom and asks for her help against the family. Penelope says, make yourself scarce, but don't go alone. And Cheryl asks Tony to take a vacation, and she agrees. Archie tries to write the letter, but can't. Betty gets a call on her cell from Donna, who asks for her help and says somebody's trying to kill them and kill her because Joan has also been murdered. And Betty rejects her cry for help. And it looks like Donna's like a, what do you call it's not like a typical warehouse. It's like almost where you'd have like boats and stuff docked, like indoors. Like she's getting like pelted by the rain, but she's like indoors. I'm like, where is this?
I thought she was like in a phone booth.
She has a phone, but like she's inside some like structure too. Oh, it's wild.
Interesting.
We'll see if we can find an image of it.
Yeah.
Betty calls Joan's parents and learns she was murdered when she was walking home from school in the woods and somebody hit her in the head with a rock. Hermosa has a plan to level Hiram, and when Hiram reaches out for Veronica's help, she should reject it. Archie is visited by Mr. Augustine, and he says that his son confessed to the hit and run, and he's being charged as an adult, and asks Archie to write the letter of leniency for his son. And Archie says he can't because he left Fred on the side of the road, and he would never do that. Bughead find a tape on their front door, and the tape is of the inside of their house, and it goes up to Bughead sleeping, and then into Jellybean's room where they hold a knife to her face. The family then packs their bags to check into the 5 seasons. Veronica gets a call for help from Hiram. She goes out because she's living at the Pembroke again. So she goes outside her door and finds him bleeding. Veronica calls him a dog that needs to be trained, and he needs to be smarter to not go into the street getting beat up by younger, more capable men. She rejects to help him and leaves the office and finds Hermosa in her room, and Veronica asks what she did, and Hermosa says Hiram needed to be taught a lesson. Or Poppy. Cheryl comes down in her vacation best. I love this outfit.
Mm-hmm.
Where she's got, it's a pillbox hat, right? No.
Well,
it's the circular kind of like round fuzzy hat that's going up, and then she's got like a 2-piece.
Because the pillbox I think is the smaller circular one that's further back. I'm not certain.
And then she's got the 2-piece flannel.
Mm-hmm.
And then the entire family killed themselves to atone for the Blossom family sins. Cheryl says, I suppose, Mom, you had nothing to do with this. And her mom steps out of a secret passage and is like, it's an early graduation gift. Betty wonders if the auteur has been listening in on them and wonder who has access to kill all the preppies. They go back to the house to catch the criminal, and Charles steps in. And Betty's like, I found the bug on the phone in the house, which was the same one you used on the Stonies. Charles says he was waiting for her to catch up to him, and he's been listening to their phone conversations to protect them. He killed Brett and Joan because they committed a crime, and he thought they got away with it. Apparently, Chick killed Brett in prison. Charles says true love knows no bounds. And then Charles is a serial killer himself, and he only kills people who deserve it, kind of like Dexter. Betty pulls a gun and tells him to come with them to confess to his crime. And Charles says he isn't the auteur, but he did kill David because he was a scumbag. And they're like, who is the auteur? And he's like, you'll figure it out. Hiram has a family meeting and wonders what it would look like if he took a break. Hiram will take a sabbatical to the Caymans while Hermosa runs the business. And Hermione's like, you know what? I'm going to divorce you, and I'm moving to New York to become a real housewife because Andy and Cohen had invited her years ago, and she had only stayed back with Hiram to protect Veronica for some reason. We're all going to forget that Hiram's actually just a really abusive man who had trapped Hermione in this relationship, but apparently that's all by the wayside. Hermione was just playing along. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Archie comes home and finds his mom watching the videotape of the Black Hood reenactment, and Mary's like, oh my God, is this what it was like for you? I called your Uncle Frank. Never mind how I got a hold of him. I know he's on a run from the government right now, but I have easy access to call him. George Augustine came to visit me. He asked she asked for Archie to open up and that they need to take the tape to the police. Archie breaks the videotape.
Or to Betty and Jughead.
Oh, right. She does say Betty and Jughead. She's smart, you know. Mary may not be the best parent, but you can't say she isn't smart. Archie breaks the videotape and smashes the TV and the VCR with a bat. Mary asks for him to stop because he's scaring her, and then he drops the bat and leaves. Bughead decompress after Charles comes clean, and they feel bad for Alice, who had all sorts of terrible things with her sons, both real and fake. Betty wonders what is up with the auteur, and Jughead wonders who else would have access to that info and gets an idea. Archie punches the punching bag when his when Frank comes in, and Archie tells him to leave, and he doesn't know what he's going through, and Frank tries to help him, and Archie pushes him, and then Frank tells him to hit him and to take him down, and then Archie just starts beating on him, and Frank's like, yeah, let it all out. And Archie sees him hurt and apologizes and hugs him and cries. Bughead asks if Jellybean is making the videotapes, and she says yes, and Jughead's like, why? The Andrews family decompresses, and Frank says he's ready to turn himself in and asks for Mary to help represent him. For all those war crimes, Archie, I'm turning myself in.
Also, once again, I have to ask, I don't think she's allowed. Are you allowed to represent your own family? Like, she's represented her son. She's representing her brother-in-law.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know.
Jughead meets with FP at Le Bon Nuit and tells him about Jellybean. Jellybean made the videos to make Jughead stay because he'd want to stay to try and solve a mystery instead of going to the Stonewall prep.
And she would have saved him a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
Honestly,
totally.
He should have listened.
Yeah. She started to hang with Ricky again. You remember the little creepy kid? And he brought her
Joaquin's little brother.
That's right. Yes, Joaquin's little brother. I forgot about that. And he brought her to Blue Velvet Video. They roped in kids from the community center to recreate the videos they found in Blue Velvet Video.
Have we seen Jellybean at the community center once?
Nope.
No.
Maybe Ricky just did, but I feel like Archie would have known Ricky. He's like, hey, you're the kid who tried to kill me. Jughead says...
You're hanging out at my community center.
Right? Jughead says it was all make-believe to them. Okay.
She's too old for that.
Yes, we will come back around on how they infantilize all these kids. David gave them permission to make the video at Blue Velvet, and then FP wonders if she did all this to keep him in Riverdale, and Jughead says that what she is like, did she really do that just for that? And then FP wonders, he's like, did Jellybean really only do all this just to keep you in Riverdale, Jughead? And Jughead's like, that's what she says. No. He's like, I don't think she understands the enormity of darkness of what she did. Again, way too old for this. They both go home, and FP hugs Jellybean and says, it's okay, honey. Actually, the funniest part of the scene is they meet at Le Bon Nuit, and Jughead's like, I thought this would be better over drinks. You're in high school.
Also, your father's a recovering alcoholic.
He is a recovering alcoholic. Let's go meet at the speakeasy
but
and
maybe
split a
the
drink.
Speakeasy doesn't sell alcohol anymore, remember?
Oh, right. It's just funny.
Mark.
Yeah, it's just funny to put them in this context. Archie wrote a letter for the Augustines and gives it to Mary, and she reads the letter, and it says, the Augustines' life don't need to be ruined, and they need to get a second chance. And Archie and Frank visit Fred's grave. The end.
Okay, so many things. But first of all, everyone's family is real fucked up.
Yeah.
The only thread between everyone's plotline in this episode is that your family's pretty fucked up.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
There's no connection between what's happening in Cheryl's life, what's happening in Archie's life, what's happening in Veronica's life, what's happening in Betty and Jughead's life.
Well, Betty and Jughead are in their own...
That's what I'm saying. Like, yeah.
But together. As a relationship... I don't know, as their relationship in the context of a wider family unit that is also...
Yes.
Has their mother and father at the head.
We don't question that.
Yeah.
That we will question that in a minute, though, not because of that, but because it's in the next episode. I have... what do you mean?
Yeah.
Anyway, okay, so in this episode, we're going to focus on the families right now. So let's start with the Charles of it all.
Mm-hmm.
Charles is a serial killer, and he's giving Black Hood, where he's like, I'm only killing bad people and sinners.
Uh-huh.
What makes no fucking sense about this is he's not at all related to Hal.
Well, does it mean that Alice doesn't have the serial killer gene on her side? What Hal didn't know was that it's passed through the mother.
Like, this doesn't make any sense.
No, there's no connection there.
There's no connection.
And also, it's the world. It's the smallest world possible where he's also, I mean, we know that he had the connection to Chick, but that they're like together, but then Chick was pretending to be Charles for the family, but then Charles is actually there. Like that there's this small, very small world happening within Riverdale of like all these people connected to also be like serial killers.
Yeah. And Chick's already done his own side plots that had nothing to do with the Charles of it all, you know?
No.
With the Gargoyle King, and like he's been playing lots of games.
Yes. Because the Gargoyle King. I forgot about that.
He participated in that.
Mm-hmm. Yep. He was revealed at the end to be the Gargoyle King?
No. Wasn't the last Gargoyle... Well, yes, but then the last Gargoyle King was Moose's dad.
No.
Right?
That was before. He was a fake. The moose's dad was a fake gargoyle king.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And
like
then in the finale, because Penelope roped him in to be the gargoyle king.
Yes. You're right. I had that backwards, where it's like, and then there was a copycat at the end.
Yeah,
where it's like we thought it was gone.
Yeah, no. And then they fought through trials.
Yes, the trials and tribulations.
Yep.
Of living in Riverdale
That's
in their prom dresses. Okay. Honestly, I kind of miss that, now that we've gotten here.
I know, like, season 3 has a lot of missed potential, and I don't think it's good, but, like, I might prefer it.
I really liked up until the Stonewall thing was resolved.
Yeah.
I think the Stonewall plotline itself is really good.
Yeah.
I don't think the rest of this is.
Nope.
But we're going to get into this.
Yeah.
So then we have the Betty and Charles, and she's like, you got sloppy. And he's like, what if I wanted to be cut? And you're like, why are you so weird?
We don't get any follow-up to him getting put away or anything like that. What was his motives? Was it similar to the Black Hood of like trying to bring her in as like a serial killer? He's like,
he wanted to just protect her is what he keeps saying. And so I'm like, okay.
We're redoing the Hannibal Lecter thing with him, but just in this scene, so it doesn't really land of like, oh, you're so good at catching us and I was fascinated by you, but then there's no context given to it. So it's just kind of like, okay.
And I was your blind spot.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's Betty's biological sibling and Jughead's. Let's go to Jughead's other biological sibling, Jellybean.
That's right. Uh-huh.
Jughead does not have a single sibling that isn't a criminal in this episode.
Yeah.
Except for his girlfriend, who's not a sibling, but...
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. The Jellybean of it all. She's the voyeur and the auteur.
Mm-hmm.
The I just wanted to keep you around is a wild lie.
Yeah. How old is Jellybean supposed to be? Like middle school?
Yeah, I think so.
I feel like that's a little...
Or, like early high school,
Is she early?
School?
Yeah, is she at high school?
I can't remember.
Yeah. The way they treat her is like she's like 8 years old.
Mm-hmm.
At max.
Yeah. And it's like, well, then she should not have ever had this much freedom.
Yeah, 100%. It's like, oh, she just doesn't understand the blurry lines between fact and fiction. It's
you
like
leave her home alone.
Yeah, exactly. It's like they definitely can. They're little adults. I mean, there are still kids in certain sense. Like there's still a lot of things they don't understand.
And Pretty Little Liars, she's what, Allison's age the night she had her crazy night?
That's right.
Allison did more that night than Jellybean's done all season, and that's all I have to say.
Mm-hmm. And
did she go to the Kissing Rock and get in a car with Ezra? And I think she sees Ian too.
Yes,
and,
she does. She also threatens Arya's dad.
Yeah,
Byron. Yeah,
and then she gets hit over the head by Mona. Who hits her over the head? Mona finds her, tells her to go on the run. Who hits Allison with the rock?
Yeah, I guess who tries to kill her again? Oh my God, we should know this.
Is it Cece?
Might be Cece.
Is it her mom?
I think it's
Cece.
I think it's Cece. Yeah,
it's Cece
because then
that's why Jessica covers for her
yes.
and buries Allison alive. Then she gets pulled out by Mrs. Grundy, and then she jumps out of the car before Mrs. Grundy can take her to the hospital. She gets in a car with Mona. Then Mona helps her reinvent her life. I'm just saying, and that's not even half of it.
Yeah, exactly. It's just strange to treat her like she's a
small child.
Exactly, small child. And when I say like little adults, I don't mean to treat that it's like we should be thinking of like high schoolers and middle schoolers as adults. Not at all. It's just that they have a better understanding of the world than like this show is putting out here. Of like,
we know that because the other characters are only a couple years older at the beginning of the show than Jellybean is now.
Yeah,
and they're treated like little adults in that way.
Yeah. And I think also going back to the reason you mentioned of like wanting to keep him around, that's what like a little kid would do, of like have to come up with some manipulation to try and keep him around, but it's like a lot more advanced.
But we all know Jellybean's been running scams with her mom back in Toledo forever.
Yes.
She was part of she was running the scam to move in with FP and Jughead. Mm-hmm. Her mom had her in on that, and then she left Jellybean there.
Yeah.
Like, that's why Jellybean's acting out. Mm-hmm. She's lived a life of crime and she's bored.
She's bored as hell.
And can you blame her?
Yeah. Not at all.
And she's smart. She's the one who figured out that Betty and the fake blood and the Jughead of it all.
Well, Jughead says, he's like, it's actually pretty impressive what these kids pulled off.
Yeah. It's like...
Agreed?
Okay. So we don't like that.
No.
Let's continue with things we don't like. We're going to talk for a moment about toxic masculinity and Archie Andrews.
That's right.
Now, this show almost hits the nail on the head.
Mm-hmm.
There's a moment where when Archie gets so angry that he destroys the TV and Mary goes, "You're scaring me." I was like, yes, this is exactly what men and boys need to see, is how terrifying it is when they think it's appropriate to get physically violent, even if it's not against the person they're around, because they're so upset. Like that they can't handle the feelings they're having so dramatically that they start to get violent and in a dangerous way where they're destroying property. It's not like Archie, when he's punching his punching bag, it's annoying, but it's like you're indoors, you're doing, you're having a hard time. It's you're being quiet, or quiet. I mean, he's woke her up, but like you're not destroying property.
Yeah.
But the moment you start destroying property or like hurting people, what's wrong with you?
Mm-hmm.
And why is it that we think that it's okay for boys to behave like this?
Yeah.
So Mary obviously doesn't. So then she calls her favorite brother-in-law, the criminal, Frank, that she didn't want around her son, that she has his number. Anyway.
Again,
but she
on
didn't,
the run from the government.
She did not tell the government where Frank was.
That's right. Let him turn himself in.
Mm-hmm.
Because obviously it's going to go well that the man who committed war crimes on behalf of the American government should totally give himself over to the American government.
Uh-huh. Well, let's talk about our mercenary Frank. So he shows up and then he ruins all of this because he goes, okay, hit me. Like, be a man about it. Hit me. Like that kind of shit. And then it goes until Archie finally breaks down and cries because, he's got empathy or whatever. But like, it's so stupid and toxic to like be coaxing him to get even more angry and to like, to bring that, like it plays into that, how like, that's how men communicate bullshit. And that's not appropriate. It's not okay. That's not how you communicate. That's not allowed. I will not allow it. I will personally advocate to put you in jail. As
Veronica says next episode, I will not condone this lunacy.
Exactly. I do not condone this lunacy. It makes me so mad.
Yeah, because you have to learn. It is not that you need to, that men need to just physically beat it out of them to feel better. It's that you need to learn other ways to be able to cope with the feelings you're having.
Mm-hmm. And Archie does not.
That are not safe, that are safe and nonviolent.
Mm-hmm. And you have to deal with the feeling because the feeling's not going to go away unless you acknowledge the feeling and you feel it.
Yeah.
And you process it.
Which, like you said, the episode sets it up well. Like he's royally fucked up his relationship with both his best friend and his girlfriend. He is feeling impotent.
And his other best friend.
And his other best friend, yes, crossed a line. He is feeling emotional, obviously, about his father's death and continuing to feel like impotent around not being able to stand up to him, to like the Black Hood, and he has no idea what he's going to do with his future. So he's like flailing around and he's being an asshole to everybody when it's all his problem. And then to culminate in the Mary scene would be like, I need to figure out a way to get my life on track and deal with the feelings I have. But instead it's like he beats up Frank and then they like go visit Fred's grave.
Yep. It's stupid. So It could have had something, but it didn't.
Yeah.
The Riverdale motto.
Exactly. Everything with Archie, it's like they can get right up to the line of really understanding how unlikable he is, but they can't ever fully like grasp how off the rails or like terrible he's being.
Correct. So now we're going to take a bridge over to the Lodge House. So
the other toxic masculinity person.
Hermosa and Veronica are like, we're going to solve this problem by having him beat up.
That's right.
We're going to bring someone else to fight him, though, because we're not doing that. And
yeah,
whatever.
Yeah, they don't need to get their hands dirty.
My question about this whole plot line, why in the fuck would Veronica trust Hermosa to run the business while she goes to Barnard?
They have repaired their relationship to a degree that we don't understand off screen.
Well, they can't have repaired their relationship. They never had a relationship.
Right. They have now have this relationship that for some reason that they've now implicitly trust each other.
Another weird thing is Hermione at one point says, now that Hermosa is back, where was she? She was never around before.
Mm-mm. She was in Miami.
Yeah. And Veronica didn't even know she existed.
No.
Yeah. So, no. Not buying that.
I like that. Exactly. I don't buy it as an emotional storyline. I like them working together.
Mm-hmm.
We're shortcut. Like I said, with the scene where Hermosa guns him down in the street.
Great time.
Yeah. I mean, do we reflect back around on Veronica seeing 3 men gunned down in front of her and what that potentially mean, other than they're just like, Dad is getting out of control? Not really. Maybe we don't need to do it, but I did think it was funny.
So, last but not least, we're going to talk about the Blossom household.
Oh, do we real quick for coming back around before we move off from the lodges?
Okay.
Hiram. In that same framework of toxic masculinity, he's like, I'm getting my stamina back because I'm like going around and beating people up and being a quote
Get
unquote
on a
man.
treadmill.
Yeah, exactly. And then Veronica being like, that's not how it works. So then eventually cowing him. And I think that works well. But I think they let him off the hook way too much at the end of like all of his power is suddenly gone. I'm like, this is a manipulative, toxic asshole. Like, how is this rapper coming around to like being like, okay, well, I'll step back without having to force him? And the same, like I mentioned in the summary of like, oh, Hermione just gets to walk away now. I'm like, he was
because
like,
they signed the business, like got it all over to them. But yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah, it's and then he just kind of sits there like, well, shucks.
Well,
like, but he's ruined all your lives.
But when we come back in a while, Hiram still has power. I don't feel like that's a spoiler. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but in the sake of like the family dynamic, like they pave it over way too fast.
Yeah, they tried to tidy this whole thing up.
Yeah, and it's way too neat for me.
Well,
I think there's like too much there for it to be like all like neat and positive and tidy.
Yeah. Last but not least, Penelope wins Mother of the Year for poisoning her in-laws.
I got you a graduation gift.
Well,
I killed the family.
Yeah, because remember they adopted her and then.
Right.
Yeah. That's all I have to say about that.
Like, there's again, like, of not being related to anything else, like the body count for the Blossoms is just through the roof. They have killed so many people. And there's just like, Mumsy, what did you do?
Well, and then we have Tony being like, don't worry, I'm working on my Nana. Nana Topaz or whatever. And I'm like, first of all, we have Nana Rose. She should have been grandma.
That's right.
Second of all, like, we needed a different name. We can't have 2 Nanas in this family. It's too much. Second of all,
Tony, I'm sorry. You
plot
have to
line
change what you call her.
Makes no sense, as we harped on last week, and I will until the end of time. Why is this a problem now?
Yeah.
They are full-formed adults. They are full-fledged adults. They are graduating. Who the fuck cares?
Mm-hmm. And now Cheryl's on this. Like, I understand the Blossom
to become better.
Exactly. On this white guilt. And hey, maybe the Blossoms do deserve that for sure. Absolutely. But it is very funny to insert it now.
Well, that's what I have for this episode.
All right. Chapter 79. Oop, as I hit the microphone. Graduation. So there's a few Archie Comics nods in this one, specifically in the time capsule that comes out. So there's a copy of the Red Circle comics. Ambrose Pips, who's described as the hometown hero on the baseball card. It's a character from Little Archie comics. And then the soldiers in the photographs, they say, are a nod to the plot of Archie 1941, which was a 2019 comic which finds Riverdale dealing with the impact of the impending conflict on the small town and the personal lives of Archie, Betty, Veronica, Jughead, and Reggie. All
right.
Yeah.
Didn't know about that one.
I know. And apparently 1941 is when Archie first appeared in comics. There you go. All right. Jughead looks through all of Jellybean's masks, and Betty comforts him and says it's not his fault and that Jellybean is tough and she'll get through it. Alice says she found a child therapist for Jellybean, and FP's like, I want to take her back to Toledo with her mom.
Why? Her mom is a criminal.
And that he's going as well.
This makes no sense. And instead of just waiting until the end of the episode to talk about this, let's just get it out of the way.
Okay.
This plot line, I made a list, and we can go over it at the end, of the breakups from stupidest to least stupid on this episode.
Uh-huh.
And this one is so annoyingly stupid.
Yes.
The only one that beats it is Cheryl and Tony.
Mm-hmm.
Because none of these breakups really make sense. No. Except for like the Archie and Veronica.
Yep.
Even when we get to the Betty and Jughead, it's not the breakup that doesn't make sense. It's what happens that doesn't make sense. But anyway, the whole thing, this whole episode is honestly trash. It's one bad. Of the worst episodes of Riverdale I've ever watched.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bring back the Black Hood. Put me out of this.
Because they did this because Skeet Ulrich is leaving the show, but this is a really terrible way to write him off.
Just let him be like off screen.
Yeah.
And mentioned.
Totally. I don't get, especially if you're doing a time jump.
Yeah.
They could have even moved
They
later.
could have waited until after. But I think they wanted to give him like a send-off on the show, which I understand, but they could have been like, he could have been like, oh, me and Jughead are going to go on a road trip on our motorcycles before school starts, and then he ends up staying somewhere, you know?
I
don't know.
The thing that doesn't make sense is he tried to work it out with Gladys and he couldn't.
So why is he going? And he's like, but I still love you, Alice, but I'm going to go back to Gladys because Jellybean's having issues. Yeah. Gladys is the reason Jellybean has issues. Jellybean lived with Gladys and became a criminal.
Yes.
I'm so confused.
It's so dumb. It's a terrible way to get him off the show.
Yeah, they're all horrible and I hate it.
Yeah. And then Alice is like, well, I hope we can have a conversation about this. He's like, we will.
But he spills this information to her in front of the family.
Uh-huh.
Everybody finds out at once.
So messed up. FP and Jughead then visit Archie, Tom, and Hiram, and they ask Hiram to reinstate Tom as sheriff, and the team goes to the community center and find the group of kids.
Which Hiram does?
Oh, right, because he's the mayor.
Yeah. No, I know, but Hiram just does it?
Yeah, see, that's the thing. Hiram is completely defanged. Why is Hiram going along with any of the things that happens in the past 2 episodes? And they find the group of kids who are filming sleeping under the ring at the community center. It's
like as if you had someone who had maybe like passively watched the show write an episode.
Yeah.
These last 2 episodes really feel like maybe the writers forgot what the show was about over the break.
Apparently, yeah. It's weird.
I don't know.
They try and just... Well, we'll get to more of this. But it's like they try and make things too tidy, but then also end on like a kind of sour note.
Yeah.
And like the sour note, I understand what you're trying to go for, but it doesn't work. So we'll come back. Jughead talks to Betty about not thinking of how the town's trauma has affected the next generation. Archie wakes up from a dream where his dad is alive on graduation. He comes down the next morning for his last day of high school, and he's like, I don't know, Mom. We'll see if I get to graduate today. Because apparently Principal Weatherby is waiting till the last second to tell him if he's going to be able to graduate. You should know.
Yeah.
You should know.
They should have already informed him.
Uh-huh. She's like, I have a good feeling about this. Well, I don't, Mary. Cheryl gets ready and reminisces on Jason's death and puts her spider brooch back on. There's a lot of like full circle, like season 1 stuff in this.
Mm-hmm.
Veronica gets a new pearl necklace from Hiram to wear for her last day of school. Later in her room, she remembers first coming to school and believing in her dad. And she's like, you know what? And doesn't wear the necklace.
Mm-hmm.
Alice vents to Alice vents to Betty about the family breaking apart, and she'll be all alone when Betty goes to college. And Betty's like, I will be here whenever you need me. Because what's going to happen is FP's leaving, and so Alice is now all on her own. It's so cruel.
Yeah.
Archie goes to class and eyes an army sign-up booth. He's like, ooh. This is the thing that does make sense.
The only thing is, like, graduation day is not when the military was recruiting.
It is insane. It is on the last day of school, and then during the graduation ceremony, they're just sitting there waiting.
I literally was like, this really is... I think that's how, like, other countries would imagine how it is in America, and maybe that is how it is at certain schools, because it's bad. But, like, I wish they'd shown the real recruitment tactics, which are, like, they approach you and they get you to take the ASVAB and they just want you to see how you do. And, like, well, don't you want free college? And, like, the way they really prey on you.
Mm-hmm.
Or, like, well, you weren't going to go to college, so why don't you put that to good use? You know, like, there's lots of ways they prey on people to make them feel like that's their only option. And, like, I had friends that went into the military right after high school who I would go with them to military things sometimes because they'd be like, oh, I need to go pick up this or, you know, do whatever. And I'd go.
It's normalized.
Every time I went in, they tried to recruit me.
Yeah.
Every single time. And I was like, I literally am going to go get drunk on the beach. Like I worked really hard in high school so that in college I could go get drunk on the beach.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's what I did. That was my goal. I got my reward. I did my task. So I'm like, why in the fuck would I want to go to basic training?
Yeah. And you're like, why would I want to go be in a country that we shouldn't be in?
Well, a lot of most of the people I know that were in the military weren't stationed out of the U.S.
Oh, okay.
And they were doing more like on bases, you know, like things.
Mm-hmm.
But I know one kid I went to high school with in elementary school. He was in the UK at one point because I saw it on Facebook. But like, I didn't talk to him. You know what I mean? I don't really know.
Right.
But yeah, I never saw a lot of people I knew, and like people I knew that were older than me who'd gone into the military and then would come back and be creeps and hit on girls that were still in high school. All of them were stationed in the US.
Oh, there you go.
I don't know. I think a single person
That ever actually...
except for like one that ever actually was stationed out of the U.S. But I don't know how well they done the ASVAB. And different branches too. I think all three of the people I referenced were in 3 different branches.
Right. I'm sure they still put them on like tours though.
Oh yeah. Well, and we know one of my cousin's husbands was he got to go to the Middle East.
Yeah.
Got to.
Isn't that a treat?
Right. And so I just
speaking of places we shouldn't be.
Yeah, I really think like it's not safe. Like I'm not like, oh, you should do it because like, you'll stay in the US. Like I just think that it's insane the way that it is used to prey on poor or lower middle class families or students that maybe academically couldn't push themselves into a situation where they could get a lot of scholarships, but we're still very, very intelligent people. It should like because it's such a competition to get everything. Like when you're not quite at that top, what happens to you?
Yeah.
And so it's so predatory.
Yes.
I hate it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I very much support the people that do what they need to do and join, and I don't begrudge them. But the way the military recruits is disgusting.
Yeah, absolutely.
And horrific.
Mm-hmm. And then to bring it back around to the episode, it's Archie. It's not the Archie's thing later of that he would get a high school diploma is like decided afterwards because they portray it as in he's like, oh, this will give me, as in like the way military ads and propaganda will say it. It's like, this is an honorable thing for you to do with your life. Mm-hmm. When we know that is like patently false. But that's like the way it's framed in this episode too. So it's that
gross. It's going to somehow earn him his diploma.
Yeah, the diploma is like a secondary thing.
Yeah.
It's like that it's a worthwhile and like honorable thing to do is like how it's portrayed.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, oh, I could be in the army.
And then, yeah, it's like the Army versus the Naval Academy. Like propaganda of it all is really interesting too. Like Veronica's like the Naval Academy. Like he was like, well, what's the difference between this and the Naval Academy? It's basically the same thing. And she's like, no, it's not.
Mm-hmm.
And so like how the average person doesn't really think about the way the military structures these programs and ways they recruit and how they sell to young people.
Right.
It's just very interesting. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Principal Weatherby introduces a 1945 time capsule. Cheryl and Tony open it and find newspapers from that time. Find newspapers from that time. A Pops menu, a Red Circle comic book, the baseball playing card of the guy I mentioned earlier.
Ambrose.
Yes, that I just forgot. And then a photo of 4 seniors before they went off to war in 1945.
You know, it'd be funnier if the playing card was of Ambrose from Sabrina. Like, and that's who it was on it. Like, wouldn't that be really funny?
That would be good.
I mean, he's got a British accent, so there's no way that it would have been so funny.
He went to high school for a little bit in Riverdale.
Became a British baseball player.
That's right. Also, so yeah, they went off to war in 1945, but they would have turned back around pretty quick because we dropped nuclear bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki in August of 1945. So, anyways, yeah, good things that we've done. The characters all gather in the student lounge, and Betty and Veronica bring out the yearbooks. There was a page in the yearbook dedicated to the serpents and the pretty poisons. Archie and Jughead...
Everyone acts like Veronica helped Betty with the yearbook.
Yeah, because Veronica comes delivered them.
But I think I don't know what she did. At one point, she offered to pay for them because Principal...
Honey?
Yeah, was like, no, but...
Yeah, nothing that we know of.
Yeah.
Archie and Jughead get called into the principal's office. Jughead got good news that he's in fact graduating. And Archie finds out that he won't be graduating and has to repeat his senior year. Weatherby allows him to walk with his classmates and ask him to record the graduation song for them.
Which is diabolical.
Absolutely. And Archie tells Jughead he just has to take summer school. Also, Sweet Pea is in the student lounge in that previous scene. Just bring him back for the end.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it is absolutely hilarious. Like, you're not going to graduate, but like, would you still record this song for us?
It's not like no one else at the school has talent.
I know. Well, since Josie's gone, we don't have anybody else. Ignore the other pussycats.
Yeah. And what about Veronica and
Yes.
Kevin?
Yep.
And anyone else?
Anyone else? The final bell rings and the kids all hug, especially Sweet Pea and Reggie in the back, who are at their own table.
Yeah, apparently they're lab partners.
They buried the hatchet and are now the best of friends off screen. Yeah, best of friends. Read my fic. Archie stops.
What would that ship name be? Because it's Reggie.
Sweet Reg.
Yeah.
Reg P.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's hard.
Swedgy.
If you know it, because like I'm sure there
is one.
It's probably like not as like high up on the AO3, but if you do know it, let us know.
Yeah.
Archie stops at the time capsule table to look at the picture of the soldiers, and Veronica notices him. Jughead and Jellybean work on a puzzle as Betty works on her graduation speech. Veronica visits Archie with a box of his stuff and says she wants to be with him for the night for one last time. And then the next day, Veronica asks why he was looking at the time capsule picture, and he's like, well, I was wondering what they were thinking going off to war while their friends went off to college or working. Veronica asks if he's getting any crazy ideas, and Archie says no. Jughead tells FP he wants to go with him to Toledo, and FP says, nah, you're going to college, and you're old enough to be on your own. Doesn't get to go visit his mom.
Also, like, couldn't he go to Toledo for the summer?
I know. And FP says nope.
Why is Jughead never allowed in Toledo?
And FP is constantly pushing his son away.
He says you can't ever go into Toledo.
No. Tony takes her Nana through school for graduation along with Fangs and Sweet Pea, and Cheryl sees them talking and turns away. Archie sees all the friends with their fathers taking pictures, and Mary comforts him. Betty gives the speech as valedictorian. Betty says her time in high school has been shrouded by trauma, death of classmates and parents, and the younger generation has only known this violent town. Not really. Not really. We have to talk about this. They would have been conscious enough to know what was happening in middle school. She wishes that they could experience the boring, sleepy town the graduating class grew up with.
I think she means younger than that, even.
I just, but it keeps flashing to Jellybean.
Well, yeah. Yeah.
Jellybean was brought into the town. I understand that. But
yeah, Jellybean doesn't know anything but what this town is.
Yeah, but she like represent.
Well, but no, Jellybean grew up there, and then she went to Toledo.
Right. So it's
when did she go to Toledo though? How many years
before season 1 at least?
Yeah, but how many years was Jughead living either with his dad or away from his dad?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Strange. FP's character arc is the craziest fucking thing on this show. You would think the plots are what's crazy. FP.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, Betty's addressing her because it's only been since season 1 since we've had this the town
which was
going off the
year?
rails. Yeah.
Freshman
yes.
Sophomore year?
I want to say sophomore year. Because season 1, 2, maybe freshman year.
Yeah, I was gonna say they might have been freshmen.
Yeah, but I mean, so Jellybean wasn't around then. But I mean, the kids that were Jellybean's age, like Ricky, would have been around. But it's much like her speech is much like the speech she gave at the end of season 1. Archie recorded a cover of "Good Riddance" by Green Day, and it's like, oh, how nice! I hope you had the time of your life, everybody, as they all receive their diplomas. And then Archie looks and sees his is empty because that's why you don't receive your actual diploma on that day. You get the little placard thing, but they use it as this thing of like, oh, it's empty. And he looks up and he sees the ghosts of the soldiers heading off into the crowd.
In high school, do they not just give you your diploma then?
I can't remember. I can't remember. I might
college,
be thinking of college.
They don't.
Yeah. Cheryl leaves school and finds Penelope hiding in the bushes.
Just like the Bad Bunny performance.
That's right. The bushes are alive. It's Penelope.
Penelope. That's what I associate with culture.
Oh my God, exactly. Yeah. Apologies for inserting Penelope. Yeah. The whitest but one of the most racist people probably on the show.
Exactly.
She says she saw the graduation from the back of the crowd because apparently she's now loves her daughter. This is another thing on the level of Hiram of like, why are you suddenly like supportive?
I think she's always loved Cheryl. She's just mean.
I don't think so. I think she hated her.
Well, in the way that mothers hate their daughters. They love them.
That's fair.
You're not a woman, you wouldn't understand.
Fair. She confesses to some of her crimes, and Hiram will take care of her in prison. With good behavior, she might see Cheryl graduate Highsmith, and Cheryl's like, we need to talk about that. FP says goodbye to Jughead on his graduation day.
With Jellybean's body double in the... They have her facing away in the sidecar for like a huge part of the scene. And I said, yes, they did not want to have the child on set.
Yep.
I don't know how old the actress is that plays Jellybean. So I don't know if she was under 18.
I think she was under 18.
So it's probably
when
like...
we looked it up. I can't remember.
They show her face at the end of the scene. You know what I mean? Like they do it with her.
They like pans around to show her like facing forward in the sidecar.
And then they kind of set up Skeet Ulrich so that he's blocking whoever's in the sidecar when this conversation with Alice.
It's good. Alice asks FP if it's the end of their story, and he's like, I hope not. And Alice says, do what you have to do, and then kisses him, and they drive, and then FP and Jellybean drive out, and the serpents escort them.
I have so many questions. First of all, can he just take Jellybean to be with her mother and then also still date Alice at the same time?
My God, yeah.
This man can't walk and chew gum at the same time, yet he was the leader of the serpents and sheriff.
It's the same thing that he won't let his son come to Toledo for the summer.
This plot makes no fucking sense.
He is cutting everybody. He's burning bridges on his way to town.
Why?
I don't know. Archie stops by the army booth, which is still running during graduation, as we mentioned before, is insane, and signs up. Veronica signs Pops back over to Pop, and then she says Pops made her feel like home when she first moved to town. The friends bury a new time capsule. Betty offers a copy of the Blue and Gold and a Riverdale register, plus a bobby pin. Reggie puts in a football signed by the team. Veronica puts in a Pops menu. Kevin puts in his playbills and a pair of Josie's ears. Cheryl puts in her HBIC t-shirt. Tony puts in her Pretty Poisons jacket, because apparently that's all behind her. What happened to the Pretty Poisons?
You forgot also the Le Bon Oui matchbook.
I did forget that. And then Jughead puts in his beanie. Who's going to remember that? And then Archie puts in a guitar pick. Who's going to remember that? And a handle from his dad's tool belt. Who's going to remember that?
The irrelevance of the boys' contributions, except for Kevin, is not... And I guess Reggie's, it makes sense.
Reggie's,
it's not lost on me.
The four main characters all drink at the bleachers after, and then Archie wants them to all meet back here in a year at Pops at this time. And then he said, and Jughead's like, let's make it 9:30 because I have something at 11. They agree, and then Archie tells them he's joining the army and leaves for basic training in the morning. They move fast.
How is he going to be back here in a year if he's going to be in the military? Does he think the military just lets you go home on a whim?
They call it shore leave. And he'll get his high school degree through them without repeating a year. And he says he doesn't feel scared for this future for the first time. And Betty goes to support him. And then Veronica's like, I won't support you. There's a war going on.
Yeah, he's not scared for his future. He's going to join a war.
And then, there's a war going on, Archie. What's the war? And she says that he gets that he doesn't have a plan. And that's scary, but joining the army is lunacy. And she won't condone it. Cheryl tells Tony
were we actively still at war at that point? How'd we...
We had not... we were still we're still in Iraq, aren't we?
Yeah, but you know how it's like there's a difference between like being at war and like military intervention.
Yeah, we were... During that point, we were, cooled, but...
Yeah, I don't remember if we were technically...
Yeah, at war.
Yeah.
We hadn't pulled out of Afghanistan yet either, I don't think, so...
Probably then.
Yep.
So there was a war.
Mm-hmm. It was the forever war, as we got to grow up with.
We like to call it the endless war.
Mm-hmm. Cheryl tells Tony she's not going to Highsmith, and Tony's like, because it doesn't have cheerleading? It's a funny line, but my God,
no,
Tony.
It had come up earlier.
Oh, it had come up
earlier?
Yeah,
Cheryl had brought up that Highsmith didn't have cheerleading in an earlier episode, or this episode, or the one before it.
Apologies.
Yeah, you take that back.
I do.
Just because you weren't using your listening ears doesn't mean the girlies were wrong.
That's right. I apologize, Tony.
Thank you.
Cheryl encourages Tony to still go, and Cheryl has to fix things in town, and she wants to lift Riverdale up and lift the Blossom family legacy.
Her and Archie should really get together.
Oh my God, I know. You guys both running away from your problems and pushing people away. Tony says Nana is coming around, and is even talked about sending them care packages when they're going to live together at Highsmith. And Cheryl's like, I don't want you to have to choose between your family and her. And I hate these plot lines because Tony is literally choosing her. Honor her decision and don't talk down to her. I hate that. Jughead finds it crazy that Veronica didn't know Archie was going to the army, and he's wondering why they've been Veronica and Archie have been so weird to each other since prom. And then Betty comes clean, and they both cry and start hooking up. The next morning, Jughead heads off to see Archie and asks to talk about their relationship when he's back. They tell each other
they never
love
will.
one another. Jughead picks up Archie as Archie hugs his mom goodbye. Betty visits Veronica to apologize, and Veronica says she can't be mad at her today because she's too upset, and they embrace. Archie and Jughead wait for the bus stop, and Archie comes clean. Jughead tells him, "It's okay, and I know you didn't do it to hurt Veronica and I, and we'll always be okay, Archie." Veronica... Yeah. No. Veronica hates how everything is ending, and it feels all unresolved, and same. I've been watching the episode. And wishes she said goodbye to Archie, and then Betty's like, "Let's go find him." So they steal the jalopy and pull up to the bus stop, and Jughead climbs in, and Archie sits on the bus. When he sees the jalopy pull alongside them, Veronica's like, "I love you, Archie Andrews." And he's like, "I love you, Veronica Lodge," and he gets the bus to pull over. And then they kiss, and then and then Archie then hugs Jughead and Betty goodbye, and Archie gets back on the bus as intense, ominous music plays.
Yeah, because he's going to war.
Yep. Nana Rose and Cheryl go back to Thornhill to rebuild. Jughead's narration says that once Archie left, the glue of their friendship started to come apart. Veronica went to the Hamptons to be with her mom, and Bughead started going apart, and they never talked about what happened between Betty and Archie. And then one day, Betty is just like, "I'm going to New Haven early, and what's going to happen to us?" And then Jughead's like, they both say they love each other, and Jughead's like, "Well, you should focus on Yale, and I'll focus on Iowa." After Betty left, Jughead moved into Archie's house, which was waiting to be sold until the gas and electricity got turned off, so he moved into the bunker. Before Jughead left for Iowa, he stops at Pop's and wonders if they'll keep their vow to meet up 1 year later. Cut to 1 year later, Jughead got stood up, and he's sitting alone in the booth. And after they didn't show, and then he goes to leave, and he says, "It'll be 6 years before I saw my friends again, and they'll be brought back together by a new crisis."
So there's going to be a 7-year time jump when we get back.
That's right.
Okay, first and foremost, if you make plans a year in advance, maybe text the group and make sure everyone's still coming before you buy the plane ticket.
That's right. Before you bother making it back.
Yeah. I hate this episode.
Yeah.
I've already said this. I'll say it again. I hate this episode. I would like to start by ranking the breakups by most stupid. Number 1. Or should I go backwards? Should I do 5, 4? I'll go backwards.
Least stupid to most stupid?
I could do least stupid to most stupid. Let's do that. Okay. Least stupid, Archie and Veronica.
Yeah.
He cheated on her and he's a loser.
Yeah, and he's been actively pushing her away, being an asshole, keeping things from her. So, and he never comes around or makes a change to any of his actions there. He just runs off to war.
Yes. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, just the other thing about Archie going to war is the show never reckons with all the opportunities he has in the town.
He literally has 2 businesses.
Yeah.
He has 2 jobs.
What's going to happen to the center? What's going to happen to Monroe? Is Monroe going to run everything there?
Monroe's going to college.
Oh, right. He is going to college. So they're just leaving all the kids behind.
Yeah. What's happening to the center? What's happening with Andrew's construction? Yeah.
I hate that they've set up all these things for Archie to potentially grow, and they just remove them all, and he doesn't.
Yes. It's really annoying.
Yeah. It makes him so unlikable. I hate Archie.
Is this plotline going to then allow the show to critique the predatory nature of the military and the harm it causes and the harm violence causes? We'll see.
We'll see.
Don't cross your fingers.
Yeah.
Okay. So Archie and Veronica. The next least stupid one. Now this is hard, but I'm going to say it's Betty and Jughead. Now, this is because there's a good reason for them to break up, and that's that Betty cheated on him.
Yeah.
She kissed Archie. There's a good reason. What's stupid about this breakup is that Betty and Jughead just don't talk for 2 months, or however long summer is. I don't get it. I am confused by it. Just talk.
And like you said, these are not yesterday.
These aren't any of the characters' behaviors. This is not normal for any of these characters. Why are they all acting like this?
Yeah.
As if Archie's the glue. Okay, Jughead, just because you're in love with Archie. Archie has not been relevant to anyone else's plot but Archie's forever.
Yeah, that's why I hate the, we need to all go wish Archie goodbye. And, even though I think what the show is doing is that they're all pretending. They're all pretending like they're still this great friends, and they're unwilling to...
They want this beautiful moment.
Yeah, but it really sands away, I think, some of the uncomfortableness that we all have to sit with. Mm-hmm. Of what it means for Jughead to look at both his friend and his girlfriend now that this has happened. Mm-hmm. For Veronica to have to deal with I don't condone any of these things that you've done, and you've hurt me, but I still love you. Mm-hmm. And then Betty with all her confused feelings. But we don't sit in any of that.
Mm-mm. Well, and Betty wasn't confused anymore. She was like, yeah, I chose Jughead.
Right. But what it means for then Archie to be leaving and all that.
Yeah, no, we get none of that. No interiority. Betty gets no interiority in the show.
It's wild.
She only gets if she's a serial killer or not paranoia, and that's it.
Yeah, the therapy episode was great. And then we never came back to it.
Okay, next stupidest breakup is FP and Alice. We've already discussed it, but it's absolutely stupid. This is the stupidest plotline ever.
It's they could not come up with an idea to get Skeet Ulrich off the show, and it's bad.
And then the worst breakup on the show, Cheryl and Tony. How dare they? How fucking dare they?
Mm-hmm. And then I hate when a show does this of like, oh, well, I have to do this thing and I can't bring you along. Mm-hmm. And also under the guise also of that it's
for us.
Exactly. And then Tony is sitting there like, I chose you. Why are you invalidating my decision? Mm-hmm. Ah.
Okay, other thoughts I have. Betty should just keep the jalopy.
Yes.
She helped build it. Archie's not going to drive it.
No, Archie left it behind.
Where's the jalopy going? Yeah.
Exactly. She should take it to New Haven.
I wonder if she does.
Yeah. Now, I don't know how it gets in Connecticut. It might have... Does it have a top that can come up?
I don't know.
Might have some problems with that if she doesn't have a garage.
Yeah, she might. That's not our journey.
No.
We don't own a jalopy.
No, and we don't live in Connecticut.
No.
Never have. Never been.
I've never been either.
I know nothing about Connecticut.
I've never been east of Las Vegas.
Yeah, we do have to do that trip sometime.
Yeah.
In the jalopy.
In the jalopy. That's not true. I've been to Florida.
Oh, God, right.
Until we've gone to Florida.
Yeah, we even had a layover and we've had layovers in Dallas and Denver.
Yeah, but I didn't do it. It's like,
oh, that's
I didn't
true.
get out of the airport.
That's right.
In Denver, I said, oh my God, it's snowing.
Mm-hmm.
Or it wasn't even snowing. It was just icy. I think it was cold outside. And then in Dallas, I said, oh my God, this protein shake I bought is expired. I had the worst airport experience in the Dallas-Fort Worth airport the first time we flew to Disney World. I actually was like, this is how I'm going to go. And I was so upset. And they changed our flights and we got separated and I'm afraid of flying. And it was a whole thing. So I ended up having to do the second leg of our flight by myself with strangers because they of course moved our flights and moved us. So then instead of the really nice seats we paid for, they put us in middle seats. I still got a nice seat, but you didn't. But I was in a middle seat between two strangers, which is something I don't do because I'm deathly allergic to peanuts. Luckily, the people around me did not eat peanuts, so we were fine. But I was so tired and so devastated and so upset. And then I bought a protein shake at the airport because I was like, I need something to keep me from dying. Then it was rotten, and I took a sip. I took a sip, and then I said, "Oh no, that
was a few months, probably like 6 months."
But I survived.
You did.
I didn't throw a fit. I was not mean, even though the woman who worked the gate was very mean to me. I was not mean back, and that's what's important is that I'm better than everybody.
That's the lesson,
and that's why we love Cheryl. No, so all that to say. We shouldn't have a jalopy. We don't know.
No,
and we don't know the weather. Okay, so Betty's speech, I kind of thought of it as like the millennial motto, where it's like, I know you younger people can't really remember, but back when we were younger, like for those 8 years of Obama, we felt like maybe politically things were improving, and they were. Men were less outwardly misogynistic. Internally, obviously pigs. But at least publicly, I thought men were improving.
Yeah.
I was wrong, but I thought men were improving. Like I had the wool was over my eyes. The world was beautiful. We were making progress. Good things did happen.
The culture was definitely moving in a
progressive
better
direction. Yeah. You know, the Supreme Court ruled on gay marriage. Lots of good things happened. It wasn't the best of times. Obviously, we can all agree to that. But it seemed like things were getting better. And now it just seems like things get worse and worse and worse.
Yep.
And even when they're getting better, it still feels like they're getting worse because it's just so bad all the time.
Yeah,
and
it's
so
really
I
bad
think
all the time.
Betty being like, some of us used to have hope.
You're like, me too.
I'm like, me too, Betty. I used to have hope. Did they write this for me?
I mean, this is 2021.
Yeah.
So they're trying to be like, there's some hope, maybe.
Well, and this might have been written before the 2020 election.
Oh, yeah. Uh-huh.
Because it was the end of the season. Like, I don't know how far ahead they were on writing the scripts.
Yeah.
What they changed.
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know.
Yeah. So, all that to say, I thought that was funny. So, you said something early in the podcast, and I'd written down something about how a lot of the characters kind of, it seems like they end this episode where they started. So, for example, Veronica does not put on the pearls from her father. You called that out. But he does give her more pearls. It becomes like that, like a repeat. So is the cycle going to repeat itself, or is it going to change?
Mm-hmm. It does seem like Veronica's in a better place than pretty much every other character, maybe.
Yeah.
Emotionally.
So Archie's still making bad choices in a different place, I guess, but also the same place. Betty, I don't really know because we don't get any interiority for Betty, so we'll never find out.
Yeah.
Jughead, this is why I'd written it down. Jughead starts and ends the show abandoned and alone. He is having to fend for himself. He is living, now it's in the bunker. At that time it had been at the drive-in. But it's this, Jughead is left to fend for himself and eat at Pops.
Yeah.
And I think that is, because he's the narrator, that obviously makes the most sense, because he's like, let me close the loop on my own plot. But it is very interesting. I also wonder, because he's the narrator of the show for the most part, is that why Betty doesn't have as much interiority? Because
maybe.
She, you know what I mean? Like, she was closer to him and he couldn't do it? Or is that just me giving way too much credit to the writers?
No, I like that.
Thank you. That's what I bring to the table. That's what and Cheryl with the Jason memories and the spider brooch that I'm pretty sure she gave to Jughead in an earlier season, but has worn a couple times since then. And we're just going to not ask questions because that's not our journey.
And she's back at Thornhill, but this time she's in charge.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Also, Pops feels like home for Veronica. Yeah. Pops is home for Jughead. You don't hear it as much with Archie and Betty.
No.
And so I think it's fun to have that parallel between these two. And I think it's kind of a fun connection point for the two of them that we don't really focus on. But it is kind of fun.
Yeah, totally. There's things that would actually bring them closer, even though they are kind of separated.
Yeah, they're kind of the most divided out of the four. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. There's no connection.
Which I just think is really interesting that they never really remedy that or do anything about that.
Yeah, they're just okay, we're just kind of, so out of
Adjacent.
The friendship dissolving, it's Jughead really, or not Jughead, Archie really ruins the entire friendship. Because
Archie just kept his mouth shut.
Exactly, or kept his mouth to Veronica.
Yeah.
Because Jughead is, the lines are Jughead to Betty, Jughead to Archie, and then Veronica to Betty, and Veronica to Archie. But then Veronica's like, well, I don't like Betty because I have weird feelings about Betty because of that, and then I have weird feelings about Archie. So it's there's no connection to Jughead there. And then Jughead also, it's I have weird feelings about both of them too. That's all Archie's fault.
It's all Archie's fault. Yeah, I agree. I do, but I like that. I really like that Veronica gives Pops back. I think that's important.
I think so. Yeah. I like where Veronica ends up in all this.
You know what I think is interesting about Veronica, though? She as a character is really what Archie wants to be, whereas that she's trying to save everyone. And she's trying to save Archie. She's trying to save her dad. She's trying to... Because even her and Hermosa and what they do, is so much of her being he's jeopardizing our safety, but he's also hurting himself. It's
yes.
She does care about her father still. She's never gotten over that. And so it's her trying to save everyone.
Yeah.
I think is a really interesting connection point between the two of them that we never focus on the show either.
No.
What the show chooses to focus on versus what is so good and meaty about these characters is really funky to me. I was thinking last night when I couldn't sleep, when I was laying in bed, I was thinking about how when we first started doing Riverdale on the podcast, I was actually really excited, more excited than I thought I'd be, because I was oh yeah, these characters start so strong and so well written and well thought out, and everyone, I remember saying something about how everyone is making their own independent decisions that feed the plot and how it impacts each other and the push and pull, and how that's all really well done. And then we get this. And this just feels like slop.
Yeah.
In comparison.
Totally.
And I understand that like with early seasons, especially, like you had time to really like dig out the plot and like figure out those things. But you would think that as the show goes on, you could still do that.
Yeah.
And still maintain a high level of work.
Because, yeah, the thing, it just gets so far away from that to be about escalations in these specific events that are happening there, that it really moves far afield of what the characters are having to deal with and their problems that they're focusing on. And it moves away from trying to have all those feed into the same thing, and further just separates them all too, as we've talked about. So they don't intersect. So then you don't have those opportunities to have them bouncing off each other or going through the feelings. And I think also there's just not quality, but they just rehash the same things for a lot of them, and they don't, like we've talked about with Archie, doesn't grow. But it's the same problems of like this masculinity issue that he's going with. And
if he's not going to grow, give him a different problem.
Exactly. It like changes flavor every once in a while. They just don't come up with compelling new cases or ways for them to grow and then continue to have those changes throughout the show. Like, well, they backslid again.
Well, or like Jughead just like abandons the serpents to go to Stonewall Prep.
Yeah, there's no consistency there.
Like the characters really kind of like lose pieces of themselves as this show went on.
Yep. Yeah, they lose context within the world they're in. And I think without having to be like, okay, well, Jughead being a serpent would mean X for this situation, or Jughead's background with his family and his father would mean X for this situation. We just kind of like throw the paper out because it's like, well, Jughead he's a writer now, and that's all he is.
Where he's like always been a writer, but how does that work with being a serpent?
Totally.
And when the show comes back, they kind of do something funky with this too, but we'll get to that later.
It's both the sometimes the sauce of the show is its like ability to just like do wild things at the drop of a hat, but then it's really the thing that drags it down.
And it's like it's really fun when you can do that and maintain the characters at the same time. Yeah. And I think it's done best with Cheryl for the most part, except for this Tony plotline.
Yeah, it's really rickety.
But other than that, I would say a lot of Cheryl's stuff makes sense for Cheryl, which is why I think she's one of the more fun characters to watch on the show, because even though, sure, she convinced her aunt that she fed him Uncle Claudius.
Yeah, like, and her mom is massacring the family, and
but it's like
she has no feelings on that.
It fits.
Yeah.
Mostly,
Totally.
Not the non-reaction, but like aspects of it.
Yeah, it's still, she's still Cheryl and reacting in a specific way, except for when she's with Tony, like you mentioned.
A little something to keep you excited for when we come back to Riverdale. I'm going to give you just a couple little phrases that you're going to want to know. We're going to have an acronym. It's going to be TBK. You'll find out when we're back. And then there's one more thing. And I just think it's probably a little bit spoilery, but one character wants to be known as the She-Wolf of Wall Street. And I want you, if you haven't seen the show, to put in the comments who you think that character is.
Yep. Yeah. So sometimes even without internal character consistency, we get some gold.
Yeah, I mean, it's still fun. I just didn't like this episode.
No, totally. Yeah, and I think, like I said, like the overall quality of the seasons has gone down.
Yeah.
Still having an okay time with the show, though.
Yeah, it's not as bad as I thought. I kind of worried when we did this that it was going to get real bad.
Yeah. Because I remember like kind of like struggling through it. I think, so far it's been all right.
And I think engaging with media in this way is also more helpful because we're not just watching it to watch it for fun. We're like watching it to find things to talk about, which makes it fun.
Totally. Instead of just being like... Ugh.
Not saying you should watch things you don't enjoy. Like, I don't think you should engage in media you don't enjoy to do this. But sometimes I do finish books I'm not like loving, but I don't hate because I'm just like, maybe this is good for me to engage with.
Right. Yeah.
So that being said...
So we'll be back next week with the first episode of Sabrina Part 3. So, in the meantime, you can find this podcast on all your podcast platforms of choice at Dead Ends. You can also find us on YouTube for the video version at dead_ends. You can also find us on Blue Sky at dead-ends. Editions. And then on Instagram, deadendspcast. You can all the podcast art is done by Vendrinic, and you can follow their Tumblr in the link on all our podcast episode descriptions. And then you can also email us, deadendspcast@gmail.com, with any of your thoughts and feelings. You can also leave it as a comment on YouTube, and we love talking to people there.
Yeah.
Also, share the news with your friends or family that you think they might be interested in the podcast. And subscribe, all that good stuff. We appreciate it.
We do.
Do you want to take us out?
I think I started it last time.
We're not. Oh, we don't fit in. I thought it was time with this.
You do, and you never started. I feel like if someone tallied up how many times I've started it versus you, I will have started it more.
Probably. Actually, if you do have a tally, let us know. We don't fit in.
And we're not gonna fit in.
We love you so much.
We love you so much.
See you next week.
See you next week. You just like delivering the better line, and I think that's rude.
Yeah,
that's men.
Yeah.
And that's why we're going back to Sabrina.
To the witches.
They know what to do with men.
Yeah.
Eat them.